Communication is a key. And every culture and every generation communicates differently. So if you are living your walk, but you're not communicating it, you got to be able to communicate to your circle. All right? Effectively, okay? Can I add this? When confusion surfaces, never assume that you are the perfect communicator. Because to be honest with you, in the confusion, you may be the weakest link. Because you don't know how to communicate. Because you're communicating from your circle, from your understanding, but they're not understanding what you're saying. Okay? Do you understand? Is that good? That's deep, but it's good, okay? In other words, you may communicate very well with your tribe, but can you completely convey your thoughts to the point of understanding to someone outside your house? Do you see that? Okay? What I've learned is, I've learned not to be so quick to blame other people for what they're doing or not doing. Because I usually end up having to eat my own words. Because I usually find out that I didn't communicate clearly. I understood what I said, but they're not from my world. In other words, Paul knew that his ability to communicate effectively with the Gentiles at Lystra would have to be intentional. And he was going to need some help. He was going to need some training. Because he was good at communicating with his people. But watch this. God had moved him from the familiar. Sometimes we transition in life, and what used to be familiar to us, what used to be the status quo, all of a sudden this is unfamiliar territory. And I don't know how to handle where I am. I've never been here before. How do I communicate here? How do I hear here? How do I live here? Be still and know. Do not assume that communication is the same way as it was there. When God is ready to grow you, He will always set you in an unfamiliar environment. Anytime you're placed in an unfamiliar environment, that means growth. Watch this. If I plant a seed for a peach tree, and the peach is in the ground, it has been there long enough that its roots have grown, the peach seed, and now it is now giving me fruit. Now it is now bearing fruit because it's familiar with the ground. But thank you very much. But if I go get that tractor and I dig that peach tree up and I transplant it and I move it to the other side of the world, to the other side of the yard, same dirt, different environment. It's not going to produce fruit this year because it's trying to learn where its roots need to go. It's in a different environment. It's trying to acclimate. It's not going to say a word. It ain't going to be just all screaming and I got peaches, I got peaches, I got... No, it's going to sit up there and it's going to be... As a matter of fact, it's going to look sick for a little bit. Am I helping anybody? Don't judge somebody because they look sick. Because they may just be transplanted and God's about to grow them. And they're probably going to see if I move it and I move it down there close to the pond, it may have given me 2 peaches in its old environment. But if I'll give it a year, if I'll give it a little bit of time where I've done moved it somewhere now so it'll grow better, it's going to give me a whole tree full of peaches. I'm trying to help somebody. Can I tell you, we got to stop complaining. And we got to stop giving excuses so that we can start learning and start growing.